so it's pretty close. And you know me, I'm always worried something's going to go on. So got some incense going. So that's what you're seeing. Nothing worries here. You're out there today on .com, a evidentiary medium and psychic. And so I do have those gifts. I wanted to got my book published, and make it enjoyable and something that people can enjoy. So we all have these wonderful gifts that God's given us, and we have when there are more, and just hope that I can give a little information to you that might be interesting. So let me tell you a few things. There should be in the right hand corner a little heart that looks like that, and you can keeping tip of the day. And is I do have the chat up. I should be able to see your comments if you write to me, and I'll probably just acknowledge and not try to type back because that's a little tough to do. So that's been going. You can give me a thumbs up. I am noticing that live time through YouTube and through Facebook, and I'm not sure how fast I'm getting the messages sometimes, or thumbs up and stuff like that, because last week my cousin chimed in and she had thumbs up or a message and I got it, but it was right at the end. So anyways, I'm still learning, still watching. My aunt says she thumbs me up a lot of times, and if you're out there, give me a thumbs up today, and hopefully we'll figure out when they're coming through. But I did figure out that if I hit a certain bus, oh, there's something right there. Hi Bonnie, thank you for your thumbs up. I appreciate it. It helps me. Thanks so much. It's so nice to get acknowledgement. So anyways, my hope is that through some of my experiences, it can take, I think about having these gifts and stuff that are afraid, because first of all, we don't think we're that really not mystical, are they? We're spirit before we're ever inhabiting these bodies, ever. So why would we not be able to still have people on the other side communicate with us periodically? They're touching us. They come to us. We're not out in this all alone. We just think we are. And we have spirit. And then we know, of course, if you're religious and you believe in God, and that's where I grew up. And whoever you believe in, okay, Wakatanka, and whatever you call it. All right. There's a spirit there too that stays with us, and we need to learn. And so why would we not have these where we came from and who we came from? So my hope is to kind of take some of the mystery or the badness away from that, because I'm myself a bad human being, and I don't have a will to ever harm intentionally anybody or hurt anybody. So I wouldn't want anything that was less than pure. Okay. I make them intentionally, and I don't think a lot of us do that intentionally. So anyways, that's what we're doing. So I want to jump right in today and talk about, because my hope is questions. You can write me your questions and we'll try to answer it. Maybe we'll pull a card. Maybe we'll see what comes up. And remember, I don't care if you can see me as a medium or you go see any other medium out there. You do not ever have to do exactly or believe exactly what they do. We all know that this gift, we're interpreting from the other side. I'm interpreting it, and whatever I see, whatever my makeup allows me to see, that's what I'm going to try to present to you, so that you can take that in and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. It may or may not always work. And I tell people, it may not seem like the road, 6 years down the road, maybe 2 hours from now, that thing will present itself. So it's not that we get it wrong. It's in most cases, and most of the time, it's that it's interpreted one way. This for them to use their brain and their idea of what that is to them. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It's of course, if it was science, if we could prove it all, then it would make sense to everybody. Oh yeah, that's because of this and this, but it's not. It's a spiritual gift, and a lot of the analytical scientific world doesn't really necessarily buy into all of that. And I'm going to also say there are good and bad people out there in this world. We know there are people who can take people on a ride that's not really ready, that's really not true or relevant to them. But in my case, I tried to tell my mom that I didn't take change out of her pocketbook when I was a little tiny girl, about 6 years old. And I think I tried 2 or 3 more times to kind of just, skate around the reality. But, my mama always looked at me and said, your eyes can't lie. You can stand there with your mouth and give me lip service all you, but when I look at you. So I learned a long time ago that the only thing I could do was be the most honest person I could be, because anything less you can see. And I don't want that. I want to be genuine. So that's what I'm here to do today, is trying to help you. I did want to go over a couple of stories for you, because like questions yet or anything like that. So our channel will have to evolve, and I hope you guys will help me do that. Here's an interesting experience. Back in March, I was talking. I have a lot of relatives, because remember in 2016, I was able to my mom that we didn't know, because my mom was adopted. We have wonderful grandparents that raised. Those people are the salt of the earth. It's Robert and Dorothy, and I just love them to death, and I miss them every day. I can't pack my car or put something away and poor Art, he has to hear me say, my grandpa. If my grandpa was here, he'd say, you can get anything in any space. Got it a minute, and it'll all work. Because I used to be amazed that back in the day, we'd go in the Impala and we'd throw our suitcases in the trunk. And I was just amazed. My grandpa, four people's suit bigger back then, but saying it, he had a way of doing it. And he just always told me, Shawn, there's always a way to do it. So just be calm and think about it, And he's right. It seems like that's my voice of reason when I'm standing at my truck going, I'm going to hurt something. It's my grandpa going, Shawn, just stop and think about it. So they're with all of us. But anyways, I had this opportunity to talk with, I have this sweet cousin that lives in a whole nother state that reached out to me through genealogy and ancestry. Yes, my little incense today just have a mind of their own. Sometimes they're like that. It's like, oh, I got a forest fire here. She had asked me if her sweetheart who had passed years and years, okay, and I hadn't really thought about it. And of course, she's in another state. But I've told you that when people come to me for things like that, spirit, it doesn't matter if I'm in Arizona and you're in Timbuktu. If spirit's got a message for you, if you're asking questions, they just use me as the radio. Okay. So about it, and here's the interesting. I haven't been able to have a physical conversation with her since I met her on the phone. We just converse over messaging and stuff for some reasons that I won't disclose here, but that's how we have to do it. And we're okay with that. A good relationship. I love her to death. I know this woman yet, okay? But I can tell you just by my love for her and for her reaching out and us getting to know each other as we have, that I have an intense love for her, okay? From her other state, if I had any thoughts about her sweetheart, well, her sweetheart had passed a few months, from that, before that. And so, and I keep in mind, ever back to my messaging here because I get a kick out of it because it cracks me up how spirit is. So here I am. I disconnect from the phone. I'm out in the kitchen. Chilies. I'm doing green chili enchiladas or something. I'm making them. So I had a couple of things that came to me all of a sudden out of the blue in the middle of those enchiladas, not an hour or two after I quit talking to her, right? And I have this one in the book. So let me go to March. By the way, I am a big journaler. I believe in writing down, and I do have journals out there to figure out how to get my book published, right? So I went ahead and just published some journals there too, you guys, because I do believe in writing. I do believe how it is very important for us to be able to write down and go back and see what happened, because no, but because we forget things. Our lives so busy all the time that sometimes if we don't write down, we don't remember things. So keep in mind, I'm standing in my little kitchen. I'm making my enchiladas, right? I'm a working, my hands are. I get an interesting visit. I've never met her husband. All right. And so I said, my cousin had asked me if I'd seen anything, and I told her no, I hadn't seen anything at that point. And a little while later, I get this sense of Louis Armstrong, a really important liking of Louis Armstrong, and I got some news. We'll call that a flop, but we don't know if it was right or just didn't have it right. At that, we figured that out on my own. I picked the wrong artist, right song, wrong artist. But then I heard profoundly when the Saints go, really intense smell of gardenia flowers. Beautiful. I don't know if you've ever smelled gardenias, but back in the 50s, they were a huge deal. If you were a girl getting married, that was the flower to have. It was beautiful. It had this intense smell, and they just love it. And it was very interesting to me because I went back and wrote to her and I said, this is what I sense. Does any of this resonate, make sense to you? And I just felt like I was hearing this from this man that I've never met, right? And she came back, and it took 5 hours because remember, we don't talk on the phone, we text or we send instant messaging. And she said to me that he enjoyed Louis Armstrong intensely. In fact, so much, I feel like there's a autograph or something to Louis Armstrong, and she told me he loved Louis Armstrong so much. She said we actually had an autobiography in the house, a book on Louis Armstrong and his record. Some record. He loved him a lot, and he loved when the Saints go marching in, because that's the theme area they live in. When that national team goes into the stadium, that's what's played. And see that he did love the smell of gardenias. Now, I tell you this because to me, I'd have a physical knock on your door, call you up on the telephone, have you tell me about your entire life relationship with this sweet woman. Hi, Barb. And thanks for joining in. Oh, I'm sorry if the connection's not, there's something between me and that side of the country sometimes, I notice. So keep hanging in there, okay? Thank you. I'm so sorry. I can see it. Let me know, you guys, because it kind of tells me when it's me, because I'm not seeing anything here. But if it's you guys, it might be what's happening in the area between us. Anyway, so what was really interesting to me, so keep that in mind. So this is like March, right? So I'm going to go over here to my, because this is months later now, I think. So I go over and she was so cute. I had written to her and said, hey, do you mind? Now we're in August. We're in August, March, August. Okay. I'm just going about my business, living my life, doing my thing. And lo and behold, I believe my mail. And this is what I get. I said, I feel like your sweetie showed me some special private moments where you two are young and you're swinging on a swing that would be a tree. It is on a big old tree and it's set along a river stream. I'm reading it because I wanted you guys to know this is, oh gosh, I can't show you really well, but it's on a text here. And I said, I noticed the swing went forward with both of you all moving in the same direction as the stream. So I kind of felt like they were watching the stream wander, you know. And there might have been, and I said, a younger time, because I see I'm more lanky and slimmer at that time in life and tall. He was tall anyways. And I saw her wearing a flowery dress and her hair pulled back, just kind of pulled back in a gentle, and I found her back. And I felt like this was a special place where they would talk about important things, you know, coming in life, maybe to visit when they couldn't visit in the house. Sometimes kids are around, you can't visit, right? And I said that I thought it was, well, I told her I thought about this for a couple of weeks because this image was so profound and it was like for me, it's like standing there. It's like I get to stand there and see a picture of that in front of me that's going on for these guys. And it was just really something. I said I didn't want to share it if it made her unhappy, but I feel like when spirit comes that it's my job to relay it if I can. I am here to make somebody feel better, not worse, right? So he said, we've had a swing everywhere we lived. We did have a stream running through our property at one time when we were young. I'm so happy you shared this with me. I needed it. You guys, I can't tell you how wonderful that always makes me feel too, because that's my whole goal. If I left you in a better place than you were, then I did the right thing. I did a good thing. And that's all any of us can ask, right? We go through life and we have so many things hitting us in, you know, one way or the other, and good and bad and happy and sad, and it just runs the blessing when we can have that to tell you about. This again is to remind you that I am this person, this body, a person, and spirit will come in and it's headed somebody else. And I'm usually else, but if I'm not, it's just amazing. I have a that lives in England. My Uncle Jack was back in his time, and it literally probably one of the best guitar players that ever was in the world time for sure. And in fact, he's well known. He's well known, but back in the day, they didn't take care of their artists, and if they could steal from them, they kind of did. A lot of these artists that should have had all this money didn't necessarily have all that money. They didn't have anything back, you know, to back on. But my uncle, that guy's known all the world, and his name is Jack Clark Smith. And he even has a little to on YouTube that you can find if you look for him. And so and so anyways, this friend that they had made over the years was because of the music industry and loved it and stuff. And so I kind of got to know him a little bit through emails and through my aunt. And he had lost his sweet wife of many, many, many years. And I'm sorry you may hear my dog today. They're both, I have two of them. They make a little noise here and there. I had sat down one time to see if I could reach for him for his sweet, sweet wife. And I had to write to him and tell him that I saw her as I would have put her in bed, fully clothed, sitting there though, holding something and just loving it. She was loving it, and it was like I thought of it as an animal or as a pillow or something, but it was actually, and it could have been folded, maybe a blanket. I didn't know what I was looking at. And she just loved it. She adored it. And then I also saw what I thought, because again, remember, I'm interpreting by what I've seen. So one of the things I saw was these big, beautiful white cliffs, and the sea down on the bottom, like the white cliffs of Dover. That explained it when I saw it. And there might have been one other thing in there, but I can't think of it right this second. And I don't take your time opening up the thing for that. But when I wrote to him, she just loved him, just sense it. So when I wrote to him and I explained a couple of these things, he responded back to me and told me. And I could tell that when they were on these cliffs, it was just such a joy-filled time. You could feel it, it was intense. Anyways, so I wrote back to him. We started dating very young. We were in school, so they were kids. And one of the first gifts he had given to her, they call it a dressing gown, was a robe. And it was this beautiful dark robe. And I said, well, I just see her just hugging that robe. She just loved that robe. And then told me that it wasn't the White Cliffs of Dover, because remember, they live in the UK. Even though it's not very big, there's different locations, right? He said they used to walk up a pathway. They lived near the water, so they would go up this pathway, and they would be on top of these great big cliffs. And they weren't Dover, but they were the big cliffs. And they would sit there and they would have just, whatever, talk and just good times. They'd be up there with friends and just, I said, just taking in the sunshine and the beauty of that moment. And so he just loved it. And he told me, Shawn, I totally believe in what you do, because in the UK, which is, by the way, super, there's a lot of spirit in the UK. There's a lot of spirit everywhere, but there's a lot of areas where there are obvious spirits in the UK. A lot going on during that time, when spirit decided to hang around. So, but anyways, he loved that I could do that. And he told me they have a lot of spiritualist churches in the UK, which are places where people like me can go and practice. They do a lot of healing. It's all for good. It's not for bad. And, oh shoot, I thought I'd get through a whole but anyways, it just made me feel good to let him know that she just adored her man and that she adored those memories. And again, that's what I'm here. That's what my gifts do. And so finally, I talk to you and remind you, because people will come up and go, I'm this and I'm that. And you know what? Everything is evolving for me still. I don't do anything 100% where I feel rock solid. I have days where I go, is that for real? Did I do that? I want you to know that we have these gifts. 1 Corinthians verse 12. Okay. That made it all better for me. May not make it better for you, but it made it better for me. So because it talks about all these different kinds of gifts people can have. I evolve again. One of the things I am working on doing, I just really feel like, and I don't all because of my police work or what. And to be honest with you, I haven't had any other than Cody, other than my child. I haven't had any affirmations yet, uh, but I have had some close calls when I'm able to catch. Because what happens a lot of times when you investigate a cold case and you send it to the agency, they're not necessarily open to that, and they won't reach out to you. So you're able to do to confirm for your be over with me. So it's kind of a thankless job unless somebody actually calls you and says, "Hey, can you come in and check out for me what happened to my loved one? What you think happened?" Okay. When I did that with my son, I was blown away by what this child gave me. Okay. And I knew it was honest. And I knew when I shared it with my sweetheart's daughter, who is also gifted, and she confirmed so many things were intertwined to some degree, that we just felt very strongly that that information was correct. And we stand by that. And what really blew me away was the day that I got brave enough to go to an area that I wasn't going to go because of some, I can't explain all of it right now, but I went and to see these landmarks that my child had shown me, that his presence knew were there, to have him show me things that were so pristine and shouldn't have been there, and to drive by this location and see exactly what he showed me, exactly what he was trying to tell me. I just cannot tell you enough how critical and important that is, that we listen. We're not alone here. We do not always have to think that we're doing it isn't right, shouldn't do. Uh-uh. I stand by what my child showed me. I believe in and not just because he's my child. He was right. And I believe him. And so I believe spirit. And I believe so. I actually got these two different twining scenes, and they were about and I saw this really definite picture of this one female. And lo and behold, a few months had gone by. So I was practicing, right? I was working with it. And my mentor, "Did I mess this up? Am I hearing?" She said, "No, you probably are seeing both of these." And sure enough, this one came up where I saw a picture. As I saw that one, I know to let it. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Hey, so our last little ditty before I let you go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again. Thank you guys for checking in with me. I appreciate it so much. Let me pull a card from us. I'm going to use our Lightworker Oracle card and just pull a card. Somebody might need to hear this today. Okay. Oh my goodness. Funny. It's funny because I'm telling you how spirit can come to you and can come to us. And looking at, and it's almost like it's almost initiation by fire when you have your gifts. Okay. So this is initiation by water, but I'm looking at his very beautiful, beautiful, brilliant sky back there. And this, you guys, if you have moments where you go, your aha moments, you know how I always go, I have those moments where I go, huh. If you have those, just work with it. Relax. Always keep God in your life, your spiritual. Remember, spirit talks to us. They come and talk to us, and be willing to embrace that. I love seeing how this spiritual how we're all intertwined with that. It never leaves us. It's who we are. We just don't think about it because this world caves in on us and this and that, and there's fake and this. I don't care. Hey, I am so glad that you guys with me this long. I hope to do every Sunday. If you can get other people to come on, again, don't forget to subscribe. I hope you see the little heart down there. Just hit that and it'll subscribe you. Talks every 6 days a week. Usually I do little, and I do the one on the 7th. We're going to do this. So I just want you to know how much I care about all of you. I feel a lot of love for all of you. And we hope that and we light up souls, right? Because spirit on our side, spirit on that side. Love you guys. You have a great day and be safe.